Has someone in your family or somebody that you knew died because of an MI, which is a myocardial infarction, or heart attack, or have they had heart disease? According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, in an article titled Heart Disease Facts, last updated February 19, 2014, about 600,000 people die of heart disease in the United States every year. That's 1 in 4 deaths. Everyone should exercise for their own benefit, of course, but most importantly, it does help reduce the incidence of heart disease. So let's look at where heart attacks rank among the leading causes of death, the risk factors of heart attack, and some of the things that you can do to benefit yourself, such as exercise. Exercise can help with a lot of things. However, if one thing can make you exercise more than anything else, it would be because it can reduce the incidence of heart disease. Even if heart disease doesn't run in your family, you are still at risk. Everybody is at risk, just like any other disease. However, if it does run in your family, you're a little bit higher. You have a little bit higher risk. So, with that being said, heart attacks in the United States are the leading cause of death. The Heart Foundation stated in an article titled Heart Disease, Scope and Impact, copyrighted in 2014, that heart disease is the #1 cause of death for both men and women in the United States, claiming approximately 1 million lives annually. Now, we just said that 600,000 people die because of heart disease. Heart disease does not necessarily mean that they've died of a heart attack. Somebody could not have heart disease or any heart problem and still die of a heart attack. That is why there's, approximately 1 million people that die of heart attacks, but only 600,000 die of heart disease. So if you can kind of picture that in your mind. There are more people that die of heart attack in general than just heart disease as a whole. Let's see, where was I? Men and women, like I said, are both at risk. Eventually, at this rate, heart disease will be the #1 killer in the world, not just in the United States. The United States is more than other countries because of the different lifestyles that we live. Americans are very technologically driven and don't focus on personal health as much as some other countries do. For example, a lot of people here use cell phones and things to communicate, which is a worldwide thing, but we use them for more than that. I mean, we get on TV, we watch Netflix, all that kind of stuff, where a lot of other places, their medicine's, not necessarily more advanced. It's about the same, but they focus on it a little bit more, and they have more community involvement in it. Also, Americans are very lazy. They would rather sit in front of a TV than go out and exercise. They'd rather eat fast food than, cook a meal themselves because we're busy. And if you go by, your local McDonald's, your local Burger King, there's always somebody in the drive-thru. You could even go out and do a survey if you please, or if you wanted to, like I did. And I did my survey at Norfolk Fire Division on June 18th, 2014. Approximately 50 people I interviewed. 22 of them said that they'd rather do physical activity than sit down and watch TV. 28 of them said they would rather watch a movie and relax. So after looking at where heart disease ranks among the leading causes of death, let's look at some of the risk factors of heart disease. There are many risk factors that can increase the risk of heart disease. Some of them are controlled, some are uncontrolled. Some of the uncontrolled risk factors would be sex. So males over 40 are at a higher risk than males under 40. Females over 55. Obviously, if it runs in your family, you're a little bit more at risk, which you really can't help. And males tend to be more likely to have heart attacks or die of heart attacks than women. even though both are at risk. We want to focus on the controllable risk factors because, as simple as it sounds, they are controllable, and that's something that we can do. And for the scope of this, we're going to look at physical activity as a whole. But some of the other controllable risk factors are hypertension or high blood pressure. There's high cholesterol, which most of that's regulated with medicine and stuff like that, although it can be regulated with diet. Smoking is a big one. So, I mean, if we look at those, smokers could quit smoking. That would help lower their risk. People that have a lot of physical inactivity can exercise. That helps lower the risk. And then, you know, diet's always a good thing also, but sometimes that costs a little bit more money, where if we look at physical activity, you could go on a 30-minute walk a day, a 30-minute run. You could step it up and do some cardio activity along with some strength training, such as CrossFit programs. Some people make up their own programs where they do a little bit of both. In an article, Strategies to Prevent Heart Disease by Mayo Clinic staff, February 14, 2014, getting some regular daily exercise can reduce your risk of fatal heart disease. So there are proven facts out there. There's tons of websites that you can go to prove this. So, I mean, obviously I stated a few things. You can go out and do your own research. But to sum it all up, everyone should exercise for their own benefit. But most importantly, to help reduce your risk of heart disease or heart attack. We talked about where heart disease ranks among the leading causes of death, some of the risk factors of heart disease, and how exercise can benefit you and reduce your incidence of heart disease. Do you want to be the one in your family to set the bad example? Or do you want to be the leader of the pack and set the good example? Be the leader and help reduce the incidence of heart disease leading to heart attacks, and go out and exercise.